Be a voice.
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 Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
And learn more on how to be a voice with Wisconsin Voice.
We have one of the mayoral candidate for the city of Milwaukee, and this is Dr. David King. Hello.
Hi. Well, thank you for having me on The Voice.
This is Be a Voice.
Be a voice. Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. And yourself?
I'm fine. I'm good. Well, we got a couple things we want to start with. Will, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, because this is sometimes people don't know you, never heard of you. Some people who out there that know you quite a bit, but we want to give opportunity to just kind of feel out who you are as an individual, as a person, before we go into the politics of it all.
Okay. Well, my name is David King. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm a pastor in the city of Milwaukee. I'm a basketball coach over at Kingdom Prep Lutheran High School. I'm a business coach and a consultant. I was born and raised in Milwaukee. I'm a burger for life. For those of you that know Milwaukee, burger for life. I love my city, and I want to see a change.
So,
Oh yeah, burger for life.
and baby over in the background just talking. We can't hear, but she over there making comments. This is the question that I ask every single candidate that comes on.
Okay.
You are running for mayor.
Yes.
What is the job of the mayor?
Well, the mayor is the CEO of the city, and it's the mayor's job to make sure the policies is taken care of, that economic development is being done right. And when I say done right, I mean spread across the board, not just one group of people. The mayor's job is to make sure that the community is being taken care of, public relations. The mayor's job is to make sure all the departments are giving the best service they can give to everybody in the city of Milwaukee. And the mayor, by him being the CEO and the leader, he the one who brings the culture into our city.
Okay. We're going to get more into it with Dr. King. But you have any questions, comments, 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. So what made you want to run? And this is, well, it's a little bit background. This is not your first time running, and
No.
people may give us a little bit of background of what you have done previously, and why do you, in a good way, why do you still do it? Because sometimes you could just be like, forget it.
Well, because for one, I'm a servant, and I believe in serving, and I'm a problem solver. And so I ran in 2020, got knocked off the ballot in 2020. I ran for lieutenant, for lieutenant governor. I ran for state assembly, and then I ran for alderman as well.
Awesome. So what kind of do you think sets you apart from some of the other candidates?
My work in the city sets me apart from other candidates. My organization, Wisconsin God Squad, has helped thousands of people get jobs. I ran a transitional home for men that was on drugs coming out of prison. I ran a transitional home for single moms that needed to get back on their feet. I transported 1 year 450 people to work to make sure they had a job, that they could feed their family. The leader, a real leader or a true leader, is a person who wants to empower the people, don't want the power, but want the people to be empowered to take care of their families and everything. And I always tell people, knowledge always governs ignorance. So if we hide the knowledge from the people, then we're going to always govern them. But if we can give them the knowledge, then they can take care of themselves.
So over your and I want to reiterate why this particular role, why mayor?
Because everything flows from the head down. And so you got to have, if you don't have a mayor that has a heart for the city, then it's nothing going to change in our city. If you have a mayor that is owned by other people and not by the people of the city, then it's not going to go in the direction that it needs to go. Milwaukee is suffering with mental illness, drug overdose, homelessness. Our education system is not to par. So we're hurting, but we're building new buildings, and that's not fair. I think we need to be able to have a leadership that has the heart of the people. And in Milwaukee, our community has been always on the menu and not at the table. And we need to get to the table so we can deal with things that that we need to address on the daily.
Looks like we have a caller. Caller,
Good
go ahead.
morning. Good morning.
Hi, how are you? Thank you
Finding yourself.
for joining Via Voice.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question first and foremost. So what is your feelings about the 15% raise that the mayor wanted to give the common council along with himself?
Well, to be honest with you, I think that's a slap in the face of our community because of the fact that you telling us we're hurting. You telling us that we can be bankrupt in the next 2-3 years, and then all of a sudden you raise sales tax and then go behind closed doors and give yourself a raise. I think that's letting the people of Milwaukee know that I don't care about you. I'm gonna get mines.
You know, and I must say that I agree with you totally. And I'm first and foremost, I'm a retired sanitation worker, and I'm for a raise. And I mean, like the sanitation workers, if I'm not mistaken, got like 2 or 3% raise. I'm all for maybe the county council even getting a 2 or 3% raise. But again, I agree with you that 15% was like a slap in the face. And here's what I get. It appears that when we get a mayor sometime, most of the time, and even like the county council, once they get in office, it's like they put themselves above the people. They feel they don't have to answer to the people anymore. So I guess I would ask you, in what way would you say that you would make sure that you're in a position that you answer to the people?
Well, 2 things. Number one, I made one promise on my campaign trail, and that is I would never sell the trust of the people. So you ain't got to worry about me selling you out. And 2, I let the people know you're the boss. Me running for office, I'm interviewing to be your representation. And a lot of times, and I'll take the north side versus the south side. You know why the south side get a lot of answers real quick? Is because those aldermen know that the people is their boss, and those people will deal with them. On the north side, listen to the complaints. The aldermen don't call them back. They never answer their emails. They don't come up to their events. Why? Because they know that the people don't know that the people are the boss. And we gotta reverse that to let people know you're their boss. You can sue. They're supposed to have a bond. You can sue their bond if they don't do their job. They have to answer your calls, and they have to meet with you. You're the boss. And the moment our community realize that, I guarantee you'll see a lot of change in the aldermen, as well as mayor, as well as county executive, as well as county supervisor.
I'm gonna say this to you in closing. Yeah, because it seems like in the past that I'm on the north side. We always seem to be the one who helped plant the apple trees in, like, say, the 3rd ward. But once the fruit grow, we never get any of the fruit on the north end of town.
That's because
tax dollars and everything else.
That's because you're on the menu, sir, and not at the table. It's time for us to get to the table.
Yeah, they ain't closing for real. I totally agree with you. Just so you know, I did early vote, and guess what? Cavalier didn't get my vote, so you know who most likely got my vote. God bless you.
Well, thank you.
Well, there is he gave his opinion, and I thank him for. Let's talk about, on your website you talk about your number one issue.
Yes, safety.
And budget.
and
That was the
budget.
first one on your.
That's what
That's
you-
the first one
okay.
that we'll go to safety, but
On my-
the
on
first
my-
one on your website.
On my website is budget.
It's budget. So,
Okay.
what do you want to? Because you had a couple of things that you said on your website, and I just want to just go over
Okay.
your agenda, not mine, not anybody else's. Your agenda.
Yes, ma'am.
You talk about the first thing on day one is you want to deal with the budget. What are kind of the
Well-
things that you're looking to do?
Well, let me get my background. I managed $1 million companies for 30 years, and my job was to go in and fix things. And so
Like a fixer.
trust me, I'm a fixer. And I tell people, you might not like the way I do it, but you'll love the results. Okay. And so when you look at we have to look at the budget. And when we're looking at the budget, we're looking at where the money is going. And then like the Department of Public Works, you look at how much money they get. Then you look at the service that is being provided. And then we got to they got to sit down and answer to me, why this service, if you got all of this money, why this service is not where it's supposed to be. Well, and if they say, well, I'm short-handed, then I'm going to say, well, what you need to do is everybody you force off their job because they didn't want to take the shot, bring them back. Because what'll happen is this, I don't have to train you because you already know, the job, you know what to do. Now you bring those people back and now let's get the work done. Because I'm not one that's going to sit around and listen to excuses. I need to see results.
What do you mean about the shot? Are you talking about the COVID shot?
The COVID shot, a lot of people lost their job because they didn't want to take the shot. So they was forced off of work. And now they're saying they're shorthanded. Okay, here's the solution. Give them their job back.
You talk about economic growth on your website as well.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things you're looking at to bring economic development?
Well, when you, when you look at economic development and you look at what's really going on, and when you're talking economics, you're looking at jobs and everything at that. So government doesn't create jobs. Government needs to get out of the way so small business owners can create those jobs. That small business owners thrive. This country survives on small businesses, not big corporations. So Milwaukee got to be more business friendly, allow the small business. Look at all the buildings that we have in our city. I'm a business coach and a consultant. Most of my clients are in Shorewood or they're in West Dallas. Why? Because they welcome those small business owners. Over here, you got to go through regulations, you got to go and you got to get zoned, and you got to go through all of this before you can open up your business. It might take you a year and a half, and guess what? You don't even want it no more. You go to Shorewood and West Dallas, you can open in 30 days to 60 days. So, we got to be more business friendly so we can have more economic coming through here. And I'm not talking about bringing in just big corporations. What about the small business owners? What about them? They need to be able to thrive, because if they thrive and they grow and they start prospering, they got to hire more people.
It looks like we have a caller. Caller?
Hello, thank you for taking my call. And is this for the mayor?
This is you have a question for Dr. King?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yes. But I want to know, okay, I'm sorry, I just turned the radio on. So I want to know, what is he running for?
He is running for mayor of the city of Milwaukee.
Okay, and this is one thing that I think is critically important. I know Cavalier hasn't been in there to serve a full term yet, right?
Correct.
And when you keep, you sound great, what you're saying. And, but I think when you just keep starting, we lose continuity. And so I'm going to have to keep listening. And unfortunately, I'm one of the ones that vote early. So you're not his only challenger. I believe it's 3 other people.
There's only one other person besides Dr. David King here, and that's Aisha Griffin, which she will be on the show on Monday.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because I think early voting is over on the 20th, isn't it?
It's over on Saturday, which is the 17th. But you
17th.
can vote on election day, or you can register on election day. So you can still get information.
I do early voting. I have the option to. I do that one. So, only thing that I'm saying is, you sound great, and I hope Cavalier or someone is listening to some of the suggestions. But when we do regulations, it was something that stopped those regulations. And I think regulations are good if you just can't pop up a business any place and not be questioned about it and make sure the neighborhood is okay with that, the business that's coming in. And small businesses do help, but then we do want zoning and you do have to have accountability. So I'm saying we just can't get rid of all regulations and just do things. But you sound terrific and I wish you the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me say this. I'm not saying get rid of all regulations. I'm just saying that when small businesses come, they got to jump through hoops in order to even get started. And I understand what you're saying about he only had 2 years, but we also got to add in his years as an alderman, and we got to add in the years that he was president of the Common Council. And if he was doing a great job to that fact, I would have gave him an opportunity to stay. But from my point of view, and my eyesight, and me being a pastor in the city and a business coach in the city, is not doing the people justice for us just to keep giving people opportunity. That's why the city fell apart when we gave it to Barrett, and we just kept giving them opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and our community kept on hurting.
Join us February 16th at 5 at the Bavarian Beer House for our Be a Voice Gala. Join us for a spectacular night as we gather to highlight the efforts and future of our community. Visit wisconsinvoices.org to learn more.
Catch Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. as we focus on community partnerships, voter education, and long-term collective impact for all Wisconsinites.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
Caller, go ahead.
Yes. Good afternoon. I was listening, and the lower caller kind of triggered me to call because she called in. And listen, no disrespect to my elders, okay? But when you out here and you on the grind and you see what's going on, and this brother that's on the phone talked about regulations. I understand how outside of our community, everybody's thriving, okay? And especially in those little suburban areas that he spoke about, even on our near south side, they're thriving. And the regulations that are set forth on Black people, young Black people, as a matter of fact, it's just discouraging. They just walk away and say, I'm gonna pick that bag back up, man. I can't do this. And you know how many young boys or young girls that want to open up a business, but with the regulations that are put forth and all the zoning, and no disrespect to the elder lady that I hear call me all the time. She just called in this morning. No disrespect to you, Dara, but I want you to understand something. There's a lot of young folks out here that would love to go to work or create their own business and start an industry of their own if they could get just that little foot up. And regulations is something that we run into, and you just throw your hand down, man, and you know what you do. You pick that sack back up, or you grab your heels out the closet and you get back out there on the whatever you do, on your grind. So I just wanted to say that. And then one other thing before I get out of here. This brother that's on here now, I believe that it was him and Lena Taylor. There was an option with most of the people in the neighborhood. They were either going to vote for him in the primary or Lena Taylor. Well, because the Chevy was out of the question. So now there's no Lena Taylor. So I guess the option would be to go with Mr. King. As a matter of fact, I think Mr. King has did a lot for young Blacks getting jobs. I mean, really getting them. Now, I'm not trying to give you no flowers, my man. You know, I'm just commenting on what I've seen, okay? And it was an option for me between you and Lena Taylor. And you know, I went with Taylor last time. But there's only one option now for this mayoral race, and that would be King. I mean, who else is in the community? Like, I mean, you the next best thing to Lena Taylor in the hood. I mean, getting out working and making it happen. So that's where I'm at. And The older lady talked about give them a chance, give them a chance. Listen, you have to uproot an incumbent right away. If you don't, he'll grow roots and he'll be in there just like that DA's office down there, never can moving. You have to uproot an incumbent when he's not fulfilling his right away. You don't let him grow roots because then he established relationships, donors. Then you really got a problem. You ain't gonna never get that dude out. And you should go back and see who really groomed Chevy coming up, Cavalier. If you watch who groomed him, the people that groomed him really ain't the people for you and I. Now, good luck on your race, my man. And I just heard you talking, but I heard that lady call in, and she really don't probably got a real feel on what's going on because they fooled her into believing that you have to say so in your community. Come to the meeting, vote against that business. In doing so, you smash your Black economy. You kill it. There's no you allow other people to come in and build and go to Franklin, take your money, take your loot, take that little Quest card money and build houses in Franklin and even sponsor stuff overseas. I gotta go.
So,
Appreciate you guys.
so that voice is familiar to some of us on the radio.
That's why they did me, because he just
Yeah, okay, we have one more caller. Let's see what this caller has to say.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm blessed to be you.
And how may I help you? What you got to say to us? How are you going to enlighten us?
Okay. To your staff there and to the gentleman that's there. My question is that if you become the mayor of the city, what can you do to represent not only as residents and, of course, the people that are downtown with holding the offices downtown to keep and get our city between a circle of cleanliness. So they're like, because when I walk around the city, when I'm driving, I go from Franklin to Cutting to Baptist Appointment. It's like going into key worlds. I'm talking about whether it's the highway, whatever the case may be. Okay, sure, we can talk about reckless driving or whatever. And it's just like matches off the hot. You name it.
Thank you, ma'am. So I think her question was, she's talking about kind of the cleanliness of Milwaukee, and what would you like to do or like to see? Because there is a considerable amount of trash in the city. I don't know if the mayor does that or what you on doing it, but
that comes with every community. And one of the things we have to look at is this. Only 7% of Black people in the city of Milwaukee own a house. So everybody else is renting. And when it ain't your own, you don't really care. If there's no sense of ownership, you don't care.
All right, I'm going to stop you right there because I'm just going to say I cannot stand when people say that because I rent in Glendale and I care. I care about my community. I care about my neighborhood. So if 7%, and this is why I'm just pushing back, not as a mayoral candidate, but as a resident because there's a lot of people who rent and they do care about their houses and they do care about their community.
Okay. Now I'm glad you came that way. So let's take a look. I said a sense of ownership. They don't feel like it's theirs. They don't feel like they don't have to do certain things. And that's just in certain areas because each community have a different mindset and a different mentality. You can have a person live right across the street from an abandoned house that got trash there, but they won't take no sense of responsibility to say, you know what, let me go clean up because it's right. I don't like the way it looked because it's right by my house. What we say is, that's not my problem. And we leave it until it blows over to their side of the street. But if we take ownership of our block, I grew up on 2nd and Burleigh. We took ownership of our block. Matter of fact, you couldn't even be a stranger to come on our block. We took ownership. We made sure it was clean. We made sure everybody was respectful. So with no sense of ownership, you're going to have what we have. Okay.
I just
Okay. So we
I
good.
just, yeah, we're good. I just I do not because most of the people that we serve, even at Wisconsin Voices,
Right.
they are the marginalized people, and they like to get put in a category that we don't care about our community. We don't have the funds to, and I just really don't like that narrative. And
Yeah.
I know you didn't mean it that way,
Right.
but I wanted to make sure that you clarified it.
Okay. So now let me share,
And we
because
do have one other caller, and we
Okay.
got 3 minutes, so I just want to.
being a person of servanthood, if they see their mayor without cameras coming in neighborhoods cleaning, they're gonna be like, oh, if our leader care, then I can care.
So you gonna do that?
Of course, I've been doing it. I'm not gonna stop doing what I do just because I'm mayor. I'm just gonna enhance what I do as mayor. I'm not gonna come out with cameras. Matter of fact, when I become mayor, I'm staying head coach over at Kingdom Prep Luther High School, because those young men need to see somebody in authority that cares about them.
Let's take our last caller.
Good morning. Thank you for letting me on. I disagree with the last lady about the fact that just because you're a renter doesn't mean you don't care. I think most people in our community do care, but it only takes 10 or 15% to put all the trash out. But I would like to ask the new candidate about business. We want our businesses to thrive, and we don't want them to be over-regulated. So could you share 2 or 3 regulations that you think that you would change and take away?
Well, first of all, I can't name you all 3 right now because you're looking at different businesses like restaurants, food trucks. They all have different regulations than a barbershop or hair store,
Right.
or even try to bring in a manufacturing company back into our city.
Right.
So what we would have to do is we would have to look at each individual one, look at what's hindering them. I give you an example. I have a friend of mine. He has his business in Darien, Wisconsin, and he called me up and said, "Come here. I need you to see something." And I went up to his business, and they was making him a new driveway because his business started to grow, and he needed a new driveway for his trucks to come in. He said, "This took me 1 week." He said, "If I would have stayed in Milwaukee, it would have took almost a year because I would have had to go through the zoning board, and then I have to have some everybody come out and agree with it, and then I have to pay so much." But it took me 1 week. And so, like I said, each business is different. Everybody is not under the same cloth. It's not a one size fit all. But as mayor, I will look at what is hindering our businesses and come up with the best solutions so those businesses can grow and thrive.
Well,
Okay,
I thank you so much.
that you should already know some of those, because as a consumer, I want clean food and safe food in my restaurant. So some regulations are necessary.
Okay.
Thank you. I thank you, caller. Dr. King, if you make it through the primary, because we don't promise that, but we would love to have you back to discuss more of the issues
Right.
that matter to the people of in the city of Milwaukee.
Join us February 16th at 5 at the Bavarian Beer House for our BA Voice Gala. Join us for a spectacular night as we gather to highlight the efforts and future of our community. Visit wisconsinvoices.org to learn more.
Please join Wisconsin Voices every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We will be focusing on community partnerships, voter education, and long-term collective impact for all Wisconsinites. You're listening to Wisconsin Voices Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
our first interview. This is our first interview, right? Mr. Montreal Kane is a Milwaukee, Wisconsin native. Man, this guy has accolades and has been all over. You might have seen him pop up on your TV somewhere on a commercial break. You don't know. As far as awards, Mental Health Task Force Steering Committee 2022, partnership with Milwaukee County DHS, partnership with Running Rebels, partnerships with Charles K. Kubley Foundation. The list goes on. This guy, Milwaukee Business Journal. We got House Call Wisconsin. We got 2-minute drill finalists. Even American Idol finalists as well. Don't get it twisted. This guy been on Fox all over. You know, I think that introduction right there, you're seeing this man. If you're online and you're looking at us right now, y'all know who it is, Mr. Montreal Kane. So let's give a round of applause. Yes.
Ow!
Hello.
What's up? What's up? How y'all feeling?
Pretty good. So how you doing?
You feeling, man? I'm good. So I'm gonna take the mic for a second. I just saw David King was here. I met this brother last May. Got a call from County Supervisor Saquana Taylor. I'm leaving the fraternity meeting. They're telling us about a young brother that is not doing any type of crime. He's just standing on the corner outside, and they needed some help. So they called Mira. And this was Mother's Day last year. Found a brother, and for 3 days, he never spoke, never said one word, never talked to us. This gentleman, literally, police walk up to him, arms folded, walks away. Fire department walk up to him, arms folded, walks away. He didn't bother anybody. He just was standing outside. You know, so I'm praying, asking God, like, what should I do? I went and got some of those $6 chairs from Walmart. You know, the black ones, you get it. I got 2 of those. I put them on each side of the, where were we at? We were on Appleton and Hampton, right that intersection where you get your nails done at. Matter of fact, shout out to Saquana Taylor. She was getting her nails done at that. So I put water, I put food on each side to see if he'd take it. He wouldn't take it. The next day, come back, he go. Now I'm talking to dad, I'm talking to mom. We're going to old properties. We're trying to find this guy for a while. He pops up and we end up finding him near the Washington Heights area. And at that time, it had been about 2-3 more days to where every day I was out there for about 4 or 5 hours with him, talking to him. I had my Bluetooth speaker playing Positive Affirmations to a Black Man. Look that up. Positive Affirmations to a Black Man on YouTube. You're going to thank me later. And I'm playing it. Still, he says no words. And then there was one particular night, Brother David King came up. We all talking to him, still has nothing to say. We were out there probably till about 1 o'clock in the morning. I think David left around 11 o'clock at night. I'm not voting for nobody or endorsing anybody until I do more research. But I'm going to tell you this. That's how I met him. He was out there serving. You know, none of us were getting paid or compensated to do this work. He was out there. He came out there. He stayed till about 11 o'clock. Around midnight, myself and another brother, we put some food in front of the young man. And he looks at the food. He spoke for the first time. And he said, why y'all give me this? Because we love you. Thank you. Completely different change of shift, change of energy. I guess McDonald's did it, right? Like he opened the food and he started talking to us about relationships. Then he started talking to me and said, the reason why I came back here today is because I knew you were going to be worried. I heard you 2 days ago when you told me that if you don't find me, you wouldn't sleep well. And I didn't want you to keep having restless nights, so I came back here. When I tell y'all there are people in this city that care about the city, and these aren't stories that you wait till you get on the radio to tell. It's just, that's how I know David King. So I thought we was going to be on here together, but I got my boy right here with me. So yeah, man, just wanted to share that little anecdote.
So tell us about some of the amazing work that you do in your organization.
Man, I am a frustrated citizen who literally realized the stuff we needed didn't exist. You know, using assistive technology like Apple Watches, Samsung watches to monitor your heart rate was really how I started in these endeavors. My father was an electrical engineer, built heart defibrillators. You know, the things you rub, you go clear. Boom.
Yeah.
I used to go to work with him when I was 3 years old and watch him build those from scratch. So like even looking at the back of this computer, I know y'all in TV land can't see it. I would unplug all his stuff. I got in trouble. And I would put it back together. People had the Fisher-Price round peg and a square hose. I didn't have that. I had technology. So I could go on that side of the board and pull a cable. Or, why is this shorting? And that's how it started, was how can I use what I have without being a doctor, without being a psychotherapist, just a regular smegular dude? How can I use my experiences to create an ecosystem so that our families could actually have hope? Because my family didn't have it. When my loved ones got into some stuff, we couldn't find them and their mental health had taken over. I called all the numbers that they advertised. The ones they advertise on the city bus, the ones they advertise on the billboards, the ones they advertise on the commercials. And the reality is, at that time, A lot of those numbers, they just weren't accurate. 211 is a great resource for people who don't want to give you the resource.
Right.
I'm gonna repeat that. 211 is a great resource for people that don't want to find the resources for you. They say call 211, but if you never called 211, you don't know it doesn't work.
Yep.
This is a contract with a national service provider that doesn't live in your city. So they're not going to tell you, hey, they moved up the street, or their hours of operation has changed, or they're on a COVID policy. So if you go in to do this third party petition, they're not even in the office to respond to it.
Right.
And I called those numbers. I got frustrated. I was sent all over the county. The first time I called, they sent me to Racine. This was at 3:45 in the morning. Crisis going on. Second time I called, I said, hey, there's no weapons in the house. There's no substance abuse. Can you please send someone out to help? And please don't send police. 3 squad cars came to a very nice community with their lights on at 3:45 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna meet y'all at the driveway. You gotta go. Because if you trigger my loved one, we gonna have a problem, right?
Right.
And so I realized what we needed didn't exist. So I started praying. I started talking to God. How can I use the experiences like working for Apple? I started off as a regular schmegler, selling iPhones, cell phones, whatever you needed, iPads, whatever those things were.
Them days.
Yeah. And I loved it, but it taught me service, right? Working for Apple was probably one of the dopest companies I ever worked for. Apple Steps of Service can't be beat to this day. It's like Chick-fil-A, but for technology.
Sure. So to the average Joe that don't know we know what you do and know what your product represents. Can you explain what your
Get excited. TT brought me in. She said, okay, make it plain. Write the vision, make it plain.
yeah.
MIRA is an ecosystem. It's an acronym. It stands for monitor, engage, recommend, and advocate. We use assistive technology like Apple Watches, Samsung Watches to reach your heart rate, share with local therapists, community-based responders, and mentors, sit down with the family, create a crisis plan, and more importantly, a prevention plan. How can we get ahead of these things? What are your annual triggers? Did you lose somebody? Is it their heavenly anniversary? Is it their death anniversary? What's going on? Is it their birthday? How do we give you the extra supports that you need at that time? And the beautiful thing is we sit down and we identify 3 people in your family who could use some of this assistive technology. What would it mean if you got a push notification to just say, hey, check on your loved one, or your loved one's in crisis while you're at work in a meeting? You can excuse yourself. That's not a phone call. That's a notification that we see anyway. But in addition to that, we use music as a form of mindfulness with evidence-based research backed by science that shows the music you listen to can lower depression, anxiety, and your heart rate. So if that's not successful, press a button and we can actually deploy a community responder to you wherever you are in Milwaukee County.
Oh, right. And so how can, if the average person really wanted to connect with your organization, how could they do that to connect to get their loved ones help?
First thing you want to do is become a fan of our work. Go to our website, www.miracares.com. Right at the bottom in the orange section, whether you're on a tablet, an iPhone, a desktop, just sign up for the newsletter. This is how you know when we're launching pilots. This is how you know what we have going on. This is how you know if we have capacity, right? Because capacity is a big word. So far, we have prevented 11 suicides since November. We served over 1,500 young people. The biggest thing is we're moving in spurts. This is a bootstrap business, right? This is not county led or funded. It's nothing like that. This means we securing bags, right? And we're going to continue to give back. But if you need us, if you need me, just call.
Say that website again.
MiraCares.com, www.miracares.com.
Yes, we definitely see them as well on WisconsinVoices.org. Yes, sir.
And I can testify when the brothers say, if you need a call, he means
Yeah.
Yeah.
you need a call.
Yeah.
I'm
He
just saying, I just
Yeah.
want to give you that.
No, he's serious
When I
about it.
need him, I can call.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It
he's
might
serious.
And
not
that's
be
what-
right away, but it's definitely going to be a call back. It's probably
And that's truly brothers that we need in the community, is that we know we can rely on, that's going to be there to be supportive. Because I have some of them same mental anguishes. And people hate to, that's the stigma in our community. They don't like to say, I ain't crazy, because you look at me like, oh, girl, I know you're crazy.
Yeah.
No.
All right,
People
so-
don't like to say those type things. So it's definitely it's good to have someone that's been doing this for some years to know how to
Yeah, way behind the ears no
So-
more.
Being on Be a Voice, we got to get this. And I appreciate Montreal. This guy, I know him for over 20 plus years, and seeing the growth it's been a great thing. We've been kind of watching each other just go back and forth, and he doing this thing. Another person that I learned, gained a good relationship with and enjoy going to his meetings and functions when I can is this gentleman right next to me. Mr. Ron, can you tell us what you're doing? What you got going on, Mr. Edwards? What's going on in your world? What's going on, man? You always, but sometimes, you sending somebody to come be a representative, and other days you right there on the forefront with your representative. So we don't know who we gonna get, but me and Latoya work with you all the time. So tell us about what you got going on and how it's going in your world lately. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, yeah, we try to make it work with 3 mics. That's 4 of us with 3 mics. We make it work though. That's what our just like brother Montreal just said. That's what we do. Our people make it work.
Now you doubled up.
Oh, now I got 2 of them. Okay.
Now you got some clear mics.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna go with this one. All right. So yeah, I mean, first and foremost, yeah, I'm Teron Edwards, from Fathers Making Progress, founder and executive president, and yeah, I mean, you just really kind of spoke to our work and how we try to show up. If I could, I'd be at everything.
Yeah.
If I could, I'd be at everything. But it's growth, and like our movement is about leadership. It's fatherhood. It's community empowerment through fatherhood leadership. We believe that stronger fathers equal stronger families, which in turn equals stronger communities. So a lot of what we do is about putting brothers in that place, who might have once upon a time been a part of the problem. Now, they're part of the solution, and they are into these roles. So yeah, it is intentional that you will see other folks besides me, in that role, because it's just like this, in order for this to really, really, truly be Fathers Making Progress, it can't be TMP, it can't be Teron making progress. It's got to be
Right.
Fathers Making Progress, a group of us.
So what's your target age? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Ladies first. You know that.
Tell us some of the work that y'all provide for the fathers in the community.
Well, I'll just start with our baseline, and our baseline is just these spaces, these spaces of growth and healing, and leadership and love and accountability that we kind of facilitate. Right now we are calling them Fathers Building Fathers. They're 12-week cycles that these kind of entry spaces. This is how folks can kind of come and be a part of the movement. The movement is strong, man. I mean, we got over 100 FMP members, like alum folks who are part of the ongoing kind of alumni space. But it starts with the Fathers Building Fathers. What lack of a better word, classes. Just kind of reentry in like entry spaces where we teach. Basically it's iron sharp. We're going to iron sharpen iron model. Like I said, it's about leadership. Fortunately, we're in those positions where you hardly ever see me teach the classes anymore, because now we have alum who are teaching the classes. Like I said, we start with 3 things. It's module. The first module is the man before the father. Because before we talk about fatherhood or what we're going to do, we got to talk about manhood. And our ideas around manhood, and how the people around us kind of shape that, and it's kind of putting into question sometimes some questionable things we might have learned along the way. Second module is the relationships that build the father. We talk about not only romantic relationships, but our relationships with ourselves and our relationships with assistants and the people around us, and who's in our network, and how to network, and how to seek help. Like brother talked about. Last but not least is the father that I am. That's a lot of times some of the more traditional, fatherhood discussions. Fatherhood roles, past and present. Positive discipline styles, that kind of stuff.
It's a caller on the line.
Game plan for our children move forward. Everybody leaves with a game plan in those spaces. We also offer individual one-on-one.
Okay, let's get this caller real quick.
Okay.
And then I'll let you finish the. Hello?
Hello there. And thank you for taking my call. This is really awesome, and really what piqued my interest was when he said 211. I work in the community. Been doing it for over 30-something years, okay? But I'm older, and it's not what I think, it's what I've been involved in. And when you call that number and someone's in crisis, you get the runaround. And I'm like, okay, they get granted all this money, and what are they doing with it? So we need something in our own community. There are buildings around here, and these young guys really I love what they're talking about. But you have a lot of seniors that in their day and earlier, they used to work on a computer. But now it's like, eyesight is getting a little dim and it's not as good. You should give a number too that you can call so that their family members can get hooked up to these different things. And I like that communication with the phone, giving a message and all that. That's excellent. And another thing, yes, it's Black History Month. And when you get young men coming in and learning about themselves and our history, that's a good time to start talking to them about, before becoming a father and the responsibility of all that. We have a lot of excellent and good things that we're doing, and we get beat down, and we can't get tired in doing the good things that we need to be doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm praying for you. And we'd like to have some of you come to some of our community meetings, like Amani United. If you could call over there and get Marisha and let her know to come in and talk to the community. And I'm sure there's a lot of elderly people over there, and they would be glad to hear some of the things that you're doing.
They do partnership with our money. So thank you so much, caller, for your call. Thank you.
I'm gonna just add to that too. If you go to mirrorcares.com/help, those are some of the resources that we do endorse. These are folks that what they say they do on a website, that's what they do. I want to lift up another brother, Abziz Abdullah. He's working on something called Keeping the Community Covered. And it's basically a database that's supposed to help us really get the real help that's needed. So you don't get the runaround. A lot of us are frustrated and tired of it. So we're creating our own ecosystems, whether that's mirrorcares.com/help or Keeping the Community Covered.
Thank you. So
one more day. Black History Month. Shout out to all the Black beautiful people. Join us today. Today at 3:00, we'll be at 540 South 1st Street at Independence First, Wisconsin for the Mental Health Task Force meeting. There's so many people that have advocated to make sure that we are blackity black, right? So this is our February edition. Cold Thief Dance Company will be opening this up with a drum circle, a beautiful performance. I'll be doing a space on Black innovators and pioneers that have contributed to this society, whether it be through mental health or innovation. So come and check us out. And there's an amazing conversation with Sister Terry and Brenda Wesley on why is the village burning? I saw this presentation last week at Progressive Baptist Church and it gave me chills. So make sure you guys come out today, 3 p.m. to 5 o'clock. It's okay to come early, but you can't stay late. 540 South 1st Street.
Thank you so much. And Teron, you got anything going on in your with your Fathers Making Progress program?
Man, I can't come to that thing today, man. That's on fire. But oh yeah, I'm out there. Okay, I'm about to put it on. While I got something I got to get done. I got a deadline today, but I'm about to put that on while I'm working. But yeah, lots going on. In fact, if you go to our website, fathersmakingprogress.org, it's all one word, fathersmakingprogress.org. We are now actually accepting nominations for our second annual. We did this last year for the first time, and it was beautiful. But this is our second annual FMP Awards. So basically what we're doing is we're giving flowers to, fathers on Fatherhood Friday, the Friday before Father's Day, June 14th, we're going to have a just basically celebration, an award show, a gala, where we're going to, just give some awards and some love to everyday dads and 6 different categories. Everything from rookie father to trailblazer father to girl dad. Check out the website. I'm really excited because this year we're actually adding a new category, and this is something that we're really, really working very hard on. I'm really proud of this, but we're having a bigger co-parents in focus, and we're actually going to give, an award to co-parents of the year. So this is a mom and a dad who, though they ain't booze no more, they've decided that they're going to put the nonsense to the side and make sure that their kids are straight.
Well, I thank Father Making Progress and Mr. Rontrell Kane for your expertise and just knowledge of the community.
Be a voice,
Be a voice.
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 Visit wisconsinvoices.org.
Visit wisconsinvoices.org
Visit wisconsinvoices.org
And learn more on how to be a voice with Wisconsin Voice.